2017 Vainglory World Championships. This is the Q, everybody. I am Belligerent. Thanks for hanging out again with me on another episode here on the podcast. Excited to talk about this a little bit. I've gotten a lot of requests either through Twitter or our new giveaway that we're doing or different means of communication that I do some worlds kind of predictions or analysis or whatever, and I'm going to go ahead and do it, but I will say that you should listen to the Time for Rolling podcast. We did a reactions episode when these were initially drawn, and we're going to do a more in-depth episode later on as it gets closer to Worlds. To be honest, I'm not familiar with a significant portion of the Worlds teams, and again, just being honest, I don't know that I ever will get the time to study up on some of their videos. So some of what you hear is just going to be me talking out of the side of my neck, but we'll do what we can here to get you the best kind of insight that I can. So here we go. Group A, we have Cloud9, the Elite Eight, and Red Canids. So when I look at this, I've heard of Elite Eight and I've heard of the Red Canids. Red Canids I know have been to at least the last Worlds, if not multiple ones. They come out of the South America region, which, to the best of my knowledge, is not a very strong region when you're talking about the world of Vainglory. So I got to think that, and I don't know exactly how the groups play out or anything like that. I don't know what the format is. I didn't get a chance to watch the World Championships last year. I was working, so I can't even use that as my reference point. But if I had to rank these teams, I'm going to rank them in the order of Cloud9, Elite 8, and then Red Canids as far as who I think has the best chance to come out of here. Honestly, I think this is probably going to be about as close to a free pass as any team is going to see for Cloud9. I don't like none of these teams stick out in my mind as teams I've heard people talking about or people getting excited about internationally. So I just think that this is probably going to be pretty easy matchups for Cloud9, assuming the Cloud9 that we've all come to know and love, or in my case despise, because they always beat me in the live championships. But I admire their talent. But I think as long as that Cloud9 shows up, the Cloud9 that we saw win both unified Western championships this year shows up, I think this will be probably pretty easy group for Cloud9 there. All right, Cloud B, what the hell? I'm sorry. All right, Group B. We have G2 Esports. We have a China team that I think at this point has been determined, but I haven't seen an announcement on that yet or an update on that. And then we have Detonation Gaming. So I've heard a little about Detonation Gaming. They're fairly strong team in the EA region, which everybody says is the strongest region out there. So they're a significant contender there. You got G2, who, I mean, they come from EU. They have a track record. They're the only EU organization that has ever beat an NA organization in a live championship. So you got to give them that. I think that as far as the EU teams are concerned, that G2 has to be probably the most battle-tested at this point. So if I had to rank this group, I'm going to rank it in the order of Detonation Gaming, G2 Esports, and whatever China team comes out. I don't know much about those teams. Regardless, the fact that I don't have a name for you right now doesn't do anything for me because I wouldn't know anyway, to be frank. And then Group C. Some are calling this the Group of Death. Some are calling Group D the Group of Death. We'll see how it goes. This group has Impunity, Rox Armada, and Tribe. Tribe, the wild card coming out of NA. Rox Armada with PQQ, Druid, Mango, and Ingenious. are the reigning world champs, I guess, even though they were with Phoenix last year, not Rocks. And then you have Impunity. Impunity is a viable contender, top team out of the SEA region, but they have two Goliaths standing in front of them as well. Again, I don't know a lot about the world meta. I don't know a lot about how these other teams are going to match up. If I had to rank this group, I'm going to go Rocks, Tribe, and Impunity. Although I think Tribe has a significant opportunity to overcome Rocks, especially the way that Rocks has been performing lately. The rumor is that Druid has been very sick lately, which is why they've been underperforming. So we'll see how that plays out. We saw Rocks at the Mobile Masters, and they just dominated everybody except for C9. And by that time, C9 had got to watch 4 or 5 other teams play against Rocks, and Rocks was playing the same comp every single time. So they had a little bit of preparation for that. So we'll see what Rocks can bring. I'm not going to count Tribe out. I don't know Impunity that well. But so that's how I think I would rank that group, would be Rocks, Tribe, and then Impunity. But Tribe, very close. If Tribe comes out of that group, I will not be surprised at all. All right. And then we have Group D, Ace Gaming, Team Solo Mid, and Hunters. Hunters, a long-standing team that's been around, I think, close to since the beginning, but they haven't really been much of a factor anytime in recent memory. TSM, second, the second place in Worlds last year, the reigning number 2 team. And then you have Ace Gaming, and Ace Gaming is the team that everybody is saying is the strongest team in the world. That's why they were brought over for the Mobile Masters in Vegas. The EA team that has taken over Rocks Armada's kind of dominant position in the Vainglory scene. But we did see TSM beat Ace Gaming at Mobile Masters. Now, here's my concern. TSM has struggled as of late. This past season, although yes, they did take first, they did win the world spot. It's how they did it that concerns me. In the spring season and the summer season, we just saw a dominant TSM. In the summer season, they won 4 straight weeks, which I believe is still a record, at least in the Western region. And then they coasted. They really had to fight for it this past season. It didn't look like they were going to get it. It looked like Rogue was going to get that first place world spot. But TSM pulled it out in the end, so you got to give them that credit. They do have plenty of experience on these types of stage. But having watched Ace versus TSM, I felt like the way that game played out, had it been like a best of 3 or a best of 5, I felt like Ace would have figured TSM out and got the better of them. I even thought there in the Mobile Masters for a minute that they were going to get the better of them. One thing to note, however, is that Ace Gaming lost their world-renowned captain, who was most recently going by the name of Scar Shield. So that's got to be a concern, too. They do have Willie, and Willie performed tremendously well for Phoenix Armada. But also, there were some issues throughout the year. Willie left Phoenix/Rocks Armada, and eventually ends up over here at Ace Gaming, taking over for Scar Shield. But Scar Shield was, supposedly just this god at the captain position. And you also got to think synergy. I mean, no team on the planet at this point has as much synergy as TSM, in my opinion. I mean, these guys have been playing together for, no changes. Every other team seems to have changes. TSM, no changes. So you got to wonder there, if I got to rank this group, I'm going to go TSM, Ace, and then Hunters. I'm going to, I think TSM is coming out of this. I think, for whatever reason, but we saw TSM beat Ace full force with Scar Shield at Mobile Masters. And now they're presumably weaker subbing out Willie for Scarshield. Granted, at this time last year, everybody was saying how Willie was the best captain in the world. So, a little back and forth there, but that's just kind of how I'm going to rank that group is TSM, Ace Gaming, and Hunters. There was a lot of stuff on Twitter about how Cloud9 is going to be the only NA team to make it through groups. I don't agree with that. I think we'll have 2 NA teams. It could very well be Cloud9 and Tribe instead of Cloud9 and TSM, because TSM is with Ace. But I would expect to see TSM come out of Group D. That's just kind of my prediction there, kind of my ranking of that group. Again, having very little knowledge of some of the teams that are involved here. So, that's kind of what I got as far as Worlds are concerned. If I knew the format a little better, I might be able to make some more bold predictions, or kind of go through brackets or what have you. But again, check out the Time for Rolling podcast. I am a co-host on that podcast. We will be talking more in depth about Worlds as we kind of understand the format as time nears on, as Vainglory releases how things are going to play out, so we can talk about some of that. We're even planning on possibly releasing a recap episode after every day of Worlds, so if you're not able to watch the World matches, check out the Time for Rolling podcast, because I do believe that at least we're discussing doing a recap episode after each each day of the Worlds match, and then so my grand prediction here, as far as who's going to win Worlds, that's a tough one. It's a hard call. It's like there's so many, like, in almost every group except maybe Group B. Like, every group has at least 1, maybe 2 teams I could see winning it. I can see Cloud9 winning it. I can see Rocks winning it. I could see Tribe winning it. I could see Ace winning it. I could see TSM winning it. My prediction, however, is going to be Cloud9. I think Cloud9, they've just been on a roll. They seem to step it up at Worlds. These 3 have come together tremendously well. They were put together to kind of be the super team, and they've kind of lived up to those expectations. So I expect to see Cloud9 walk away as the world champs this year. So that is this episode. This is the Q. I am Belligerent. Follow me on Twitter, belligerent_VG. Check us out on iTunes if you prefer that kind of format over the YouTube format. And also check out our Gleam giveaway. We're giving away some ice, and we're going to make this kind of a regular thing on the podcast. So make sure that you continue following us on the podcast to get some ice giveaways, maybe some other goodies. I'm thinking about maybe getting one of those scarf plush dolls to give away, things like that. So again, this is the Q. Episode 9. I am Belligerent. Thanks, everybody.